Hi. Ugh, sorry. I just drank the worst alcohol I've ever tasted in my life. Ugh. But I'm not going to get that back. I was thinking that there's a cherry moonshine. One of the cherries fell in my mouth. Fucking disgusting. Ugh. Still tasting. But anyway, I wanted to try to make a shorter video on how I read these cards. I think every time I do it, it's either like 45 minutes long, 2 hours long. I don't know. It's taken a while. So I think I had this dream last night. I had a couple dreams last night, but I had one in particular right before I woke up this morning. And I don't remember exactly what the dream was. I actually have no idea what it was. But when I woke up, I had this idea in my head. And it's something that I do all the time. And I always think this way, but I never actually thought of a way to say it. Or maybe I do say it, but I never thought of a way to explain it before. But it was in regards to how I read. How I read and how I read dreams and how I do all the other cool shit that I do that people don't really even know about. And surprisingly, it was in a book that I found at Barnes & Noble. And the only reason I bought it was because I just happened to know this guy's name, Eliphas Levi, because some of the stuff that I studied got into the work of Aleister Crowley, if you've ever heard of him. And he was an interesting dude, really interesting. And I looked into some of his background, and one of his shticks was that he thought he claimed, I don't know, I can't say he was wrong, but I never met the guy. But he claimed that he was the reincarnation of Eliphas Levi, because Eliphas Levi happened to die on the day that Aleister Crowley was born. And this guy, Eliphas Levi, he was a really interesting dude. He was a French magician, not a stage magician like pulling rabbits out of a hat. He was a mystic magician, and this is one of his books, The Doctrine and Ritual to High Magic. There's another version online that you can get. This one is translated by some guy, John Greer and Mark Mickatuck. I don't know who those guys are. And I don't like a lot of the shit that they write in there. They put a lot of points at the bottom of the page, whatever you call that. What is it called? I don't know. But they don't know what the hell they're talking about, so whatever. The translation was okay because the book made a lot of sense to me. And it was with this book that I actually learned how to read the cards. Because, and this is weird, because I was trying to read the cards for a few months before I even got this. And realistically, I didn't even look at it for 2 months after I bought it, which was just after I bought these demon cards. And it was the demon cards, by learning how to use those, taught me how to read the book. If that makes sense. Because there's no correlation between these. It's just a different way of thinking that uses a part of your mind that we don't often use or don't realize we're using it when we are using it. So this guy, he was considered what you would call, aside from a magician, but an alchemist, and everyone wants the same thing. Technically, it's just different. They use different names for the same concepts. Like if you think of those people that do ritual magic even witches to an extent, like with their candle mat, all that shit, all magic, all those people that do the mystical stuff with the cards and the crystal balls and the palms, reading the minds and reading the dreams. It's all a matter of using a part of your brain that doesn't get used that often. It's the part of your brain that doesn't look at things literally. It looks at them figuratively. And that's what my dream was. What I woke up to this morning was this concept of don't look at things so fucking literally. Look at everything as a metaphor and an analogy for something else. I've met people who have asked me to explain the meaning behind that phrase, as above, so below. Because I don't think people actually get that, what it really means. It's the principle of correspondence. It's one of the universal principles that govern the universe. It's a little complex, but you have to take my word for it. I got to do something else to actually explain what that means. It's like, think of it like gravity. Gravity's just there. You don't know how it works. You don't know why it works the way it does. All you know, well, you think you know. You think you know. Someone told you, but you can't actually like measure it. You can't prove it. Like you can't, I mean, aside from dropping something, but if you drop something, I think there's like 100 different theories as to why things drop aside from gravity. But that's not my business. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not worried about gravity. But it's called the law of correspondence, and the law of correspondence, as above, so below, it works kind of the same way. It's just one of those things that just is. You can't escape it. It's something that always has a hold on you, but unless you understand how to see it, because you can actually see it, it's measurable. It's completely measurable. It's repeatable, and when you get a full solid grip of what it means and how it affects you, it can fucking change. It can change the world in ways you can't even fucking imagine. So that's almost the same thing. And I think that would have been if I thought of this at the time when I was asked that question originally, I think that would be the best way to explain it, is the law of correspondence, as above, so below, as is below, so above, as within, as without. There's like a fucking 100 different ways of saying it. People call it the law of attraction, the law of correspondence. It's also called the law of analogy. It's called the law of analogy because as above, so below, what that means is as within, as without, is that you can relate any single aspect of your life, anything, to something else. Anything. Really, if you can find meaning behind something, you can relate it back to yourself. If you look at it from a metaphorical or analogical standpoint, and that's how I look at the cards. And you could look at that with anything. So, for instance, these cards, they have like friggin' million trillion meanings every time I look at one of these things. Well, maybe not that. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. That's like that number is not even realistic at all. Probably it's more along the lines of like 2 or 3, maybe. I usually only focus on one. And that's a whole nother story. But I usually only focus on one. But there's typically like a couple. I'll see, like, what was this one? The 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups, like, it gives me like a lot of different ideas. I think the Rider-Waite deck, it's that guy standing in front of the 3 that are tipped over, and then there's a 2 in the back. This one's got a horse who's just sad and mourning. Sad horse. But it's almost kind of the same concept. Like, he's looking down and he's all sad, but he's got all 5 of the cups. All 5 cups right above his head. If you just looked up, you'd see that he didn't lose anything. Yeah, he may have lost some stuff, but there's more shit right behind him. And it goes the same with the Rider-Waite one, with the guy staring at the 3 on the ground. He's sitting there. He's focused on those 3. I think everybody calls it the crying over spilled milk card, because he's crying over those 3. He's not paying attention to the 2 behind him that are standing up. And you could take that in 100 different ways. Like, I'm sure there's somebody who's watching or who has watched or will watch eventually that can relate to that exactly. Maybe you just lost somebody. Maybe you just broke up with somebody. Maybe someone in your family died. Like, you have that loss that you're mourning, but or maybe you don't realize it, but there's something right behind you. There's something else that's waiting to take that spot, to fulfill that I'm not going to call it a need, but that maybe we call it a need. That need, that person, that thing. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a thing. It could be your car. It could be your house. It could be your job. You just lost that one, but there's another one that's coming up right around the corner. But I think there's a bigger message behind that card too. I saw someone pull it yesterday for something, and I was there was a whole bunch of people that were making comments on it, but I think what people miss, people always look at the negative on that card, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe this is a great lesson to learn, because this guy who's not paying attention to the stuff that he has or the stuff that's right behind him, what he needs to do is learn the lesson from those spilled cups. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's looking at those spilled cups on the ground, trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. And if he can figure out why those three spilled, maybe he'll be able to better manage the two that are behind him. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's just figuring stuff out. Maybe he's not sad after all. Maybe he's just in deep contemplation going, fuck, I fucked up. What do I do now? And that's something most people don't even do. It's like, fuck, I fucked up. Now what? Well, this is a great example. You know what? I never thought of something like that before. Now I do. I went a long time not thinking that way. I used to think that losing stuff was the worst possible thing that could happen. Like, you lose it, it's gone. What am I going to do? I don't have the thing no more. Now I don't have the thing. Well, take advantage of losing that thing, because maybe losing that thing was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because maybe that thing needed to lose you too. Maybe you weren't treating that thing right. And you can put that for anything at all. Including misinterpreting a card, which I do sometimes, which I think everybody does. But at the same point, misinterpreting, what does that mean? Misinterpreting means you're not following what everybody else is interpreting it as. I don't believe in making mistakes. I don't think there's such a thing as mistake. I like to say that everything happens for a reason. And I really, truly, and honestly, 100% believe that everything happens for a reason. The things that I say, the people that I meet, the things that people tell me, the random cards that just stay to my hand. Hold on. Hey, random card I picked up. Here it is. It's Leo. It's me. It's me. There's also a Leo full moon next week. That's awesome. It's awesome. That's badass, because something cool is going to happen. I didn't pick up this card on accident. There's a reason. Why? It's a strength card, just to remind me that I'm kicking ass. Yeah, I'm sitting around in my teddy bear jammies, but you know what? How many other people get to sit around their teddy bear jammies talking to people and reading cards all day? That's fucking cool. It's really cool. It's better than what a lot of people are doing, like going to a shitty job that they hate, or thinking about a shitty job that they hate while they sit on the couch watching TV. But this card's the same way. Like, I try to relate it to myself. I don't think of the exact meaning. Yeah, it means strength. But what does strength mean to me? Strength to me means the perseverance to do fucking these videos, or to talk to the people that I talk to. Because I talk to some fucking weird people. People think I'm weird. You fucking see the people I gotta interact with sometimes. No one's probably even watching. But the point is, strength. What does strength mean to you? Don't look at it like, you can look at it any way you want. This is just how I look at it. What I'm saying is, look at it what it means to you. It means perseverance through some ordeal, or it just means just to keep on fucking going where you're going. Don't get tired out. You're almost there. Finish line's right there. Right fucking there. It's going to go a little bit further, and you get it. Am I doing a good job explaining this? I don't even know. It makes sense to me. And I'll do one more. We're pushing like 15 minutes, but I'll try to keep this down. So, this Eight of Swords. Little butterflies hanging from swords, hanging over some swords. It's all panicky. This card, what this card says to me, what it represents in the book is like you put yourself in this shitty situation where you got all these things, all these swords like pointing up at you. What are you gonna do? Like you got to let go at some point. You're gonna hang there forever, or are you just gonna shoot out and fly? Just fucking fuck it. Let go of all this stuff because you're the one who ended up putting yourself there. And the longer you sit and mope and whine, oh my God, poor me, poor me. What are you doing? All you gotta do is just let go of it. Let go. You're not gonna fall on them. You're gonna let yourself fall on your ass. No, you're not. Even if you wait to the last minute, you're still gonna save yourself. You're not gonna let yourself get impaled on all these swords when you're just a little butterfly. That doesn't make any sense. So you got wings. Go freaking fly. Do your thing. That's the way it works. So what does that mean to you? What does that mean? What does that literally mean to you? And I'm glad we'll wrap it up on this one. And that's how I read. When I read for people, when I say the things that I see in the cards, I read for myself. I look at what the person says. What is it that they want to know? How does it relate to me? And what do the cards say to me? How do I relate directly to those cards based off that question? And sometimes what I do, I make believe that when the person is asking about another person, I make believe that I'm the person they're asking about. I make them believe that they're asking me for advice on what to do about me. Does that make sense? I don't know. I do it and people fucking love it. But they could be lying to me. But that's how I roll with this too. So what does this mean? Putting yourself in a sticky situation that only you can get yourself out of. My current living situation is a situation that I put myself in. Yeah, it's sticky. But I know once I'm ready to fucking just let go of shit, I'm going. I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting to the last minute. Yeah, I know. That's what I do. That's what people do. They wait to the last second and then boom, they take care of it. But I know I'm doing it. I'm doing it consciously. I'm doing it for a reason. Because every card, everything, every single thing, it happens for a reason. Think about that. Think about that next time you get a card. Here's a homework assignment. I'll finish on this. Next time you buy your cards, just pick a random, any card. Just shuffle them up. Shuffle them. Just throw them around and just, who gives a shit? And then pick up one. Don't even look at it. Well, then look at it. And what does it mean to you? What does the card mean? Six of Pentacles. This card represents growing and the fruits of your labor and giving them out and sharing what it is that you've done. I'd say that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing knowledge that I've procured over my time at working on this. Is it my own personal knowledge? I don't know. Nobody taught me. I did it on my own. So I'm giving it out, which is what people do, right? That's what I'm assuming. That's what this card represents to me. Giving out the things that you have earned. And trust me, this wasn't free. This took me a lot of hard fucking work. But you can't just throw it out there. People need to learn. It takes time to understand things and do shit like that. So let me know what you think of this. Let's see if I can cut this down even shorter, but obviously I talk a lot, so it's hard for me to just narrow it down. So if you got any ideas on things you want to know, you say, hey, I want to know about that. And if I know about it, I'll tell you about it because I like to talk and I like to tell the things that I know. I know a lot about these things and this guy and a lot about this stuff because this magic, not as fucking mystical as you think it is. It's a lot easier to do and you don't need to go out buying all this crazy shit. And perfectly honest, this is just my opinion. This is just from my experience. Okay? But you don't even need these things. The only reason I use them is because people think they're cool. I think they're cool too. They help me with some shit. They really help me with some stuff. They help me figure out things that like I just didn't think of thinking a certain way. But I don't need them. It's like crack. I like smoking crack. That's a joke. The last time I smoked crack was like 8 years ago. It was random. It was only the second time I did it. It's like cigarettes. It's like cigarettes. I love them. I love to smoke. I don't need them. I can survive without them. They're enjoyable. Just for some reason, I'm one of those people that just like to inhale fucking smoke and just let it sit in my lungs and do whatever it does. But just like these, I don't need them. I like using them because they're cool. It's like a novelty. People attract to that shit because they think weird shit is cool. But it's not as weird as they think. Is all I'm getting at. All right. So I'm going to cut that and talk to you later.